Hey, I'm Matt, your seven-figure commercial cleaning CEO, and if you're not aware of what happened in Asheville, which is where my commercial cleaning business is, on September 26th, I posted this video. Severe weather is a fantastic opportunity to seal the relationships with your clients even longer, make them love you even more. If you do that, you will seal loyalty with your clients for a long time. But I really had no idea what was about to happen here, nor did anyone else here. We were completely unprepared for what you're about to see.
Helene is now the second deadliest hurricane to hit the United States in the past 20 years. People in some parts of the state are trapped in their neighborhoods, no cell service, no electricity, let alone, think about food and water necessities.
Well, the only way to describe the damage here in Asheville is historic and catastrophic. Here in North Carolina, we're used to these kind of storms happening on the coast, but it is very rare to see this kind of damage in the mountains.
You walk into a place that you know what it looks like, and then it's not there. It's pretty hard.
70 to 80% of the district has or is in ruin. Some of these buildings and the ones that are still standing were built in the early 1900s. And, it's changed everything.
Up until this point, the last I had heard from my staff was the day that I posted that video. And we had set some basic preparations in place as far as who was closing because of the impending storm, who might reopen and when, and everybody thought we were going to be fine on Friday, which would have been the following day, or over the weekend or on Monday. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what unfolded, what happened, and how as a commercial cleaning business owner, what did I do, and therefore what would I do differently, and so what can you do to prepare yourself and your business and your team should anything like this happen or a different type of storm happen wherever your commercial cleaning company is at. So the storm hits the night of September 26th, and actually on September 25th, which was a Wednesday, we had already experienced a significant amount of rain and flooding that had started to happen. So closures were already in place. We had already had our plan, but what we didn't know is whenever we woke up on September 27th, that Friday, there was total blackout. That morning when we woke up, the power was out. There was no internet. We thought because the power was out. But then we started to get texts. I did, my family. We started to get these texts. We were actually about to travel that day, and we couldn't reply to these texts, and our phone calls weren't going out. And you could watch as your service was being cut off, as it dwindled away for whatever reason. Not only this, but there was no way out. My thought was if we could just get to Tennessee, which is next to us, we would be okay. But it turns out all of the roads were destroyed. And whenever I got back into town, there was no food in the grocery stores. There was no gas at the gas stations. There was no clean water. You couldn't use it to drink. You couldn't use it to wash yourself off in. It was all destroyed. And I have to say, I was personally unprepared because our refrigerator and our freezer right over there went bad. So after seeing just the sheer amount of destruction in our area, we figured we would hunker down at home and just wait for things to come back on. For the power to come back on, for internet to come back, for cell phone service, at least that to come back, right? Well, over the course of the weekend, it never did come back. So we were fortunate. We happened to have this little crank radio. We had batteries too, so we could listen in. That was our only form of communication to know what was going on in the outside world and in the entire area and just how much damage there was. So listening to radio, we knew where to get gas. We knew where to get water. I went out at midnight to find gas and got turned around by the police. We went and waited in lines. We eventually heard about a store that was taking credit cards. It was a really big deal to find somewhere that was taking credit cards. Thankfully, though, we also had some cash on us, so it made purchasing things a bit easier. But again, as a commercial cleaning business owner, we have buildings and we don't know who and where is needing help. So we needed to find service somewhere. And eventually, through some family and through some conversations, we heard about a couple places where you could get just a little bit of service and just a little bit of internet through that service and hotspot it to your devices so that I could start communicating with our team. The hard part with that is you don't know if they have any service either. But here's something that went really well, and that was that I had all of our employee data, phone numbers, email addresses, and our client data, emails and phone numbers and names and all of that, in a CRM. So I was able to send out this message to our clients, and then I was also able to send out this message to our employees. Now again, we don't know who's going to get it, but we need to communicate something. And as time drug on, I sent out more and more of these mass messages to everyone. And eventually people started to find service. Internet started to get restored in some areas. Even at the time of filming this video, I just got power back yesterday. We just got clean water back as well. And internet still has not been restored. But as these things very slowly improved, people started to get back with me. And they started to let me know that they were just closed for good or for a temporary period, or if they were in trouble. And we were able to figure out what to do and how to get help with the clients and with the employees. To help keep track of this, I actually created a Google Doc. So take a look at this. This was a sheet, and I sent the link to this sheet as a view-only link to all of my employees so that they could see the status of the accounts, what needs cleaning, who we have not heard from yet. So if they're able to swing by and check on it, they can, as well as the status of our team members. So that if there's anyone that they are aware of that has a need, they can go help out. Or if there was anybody that we hadn't heard from yet, they're able to go check on them if needed. Again, it was still very splotchy because we hadn't heard from so many people at the beginning of this. And I did have one employee who lived in a place called Chimney Rock. And if you did not hear about what happened to Chimney Rock, it got wiped off the face of the earth. And thank God she got in touch with us yesterday, finally, letting us know that she had survived and that she had made it out of there. But a document like this where everyone can see what's going on, what the status is, when things are going to start back, who's actually operating now, who is not able to be contacted yet, all of those different things, that kind of document really helped the team feel cohesive and like there was hope. The world is still needing some help. They were very concerned for their jobs, right? They needed to get paid. I got a text a few minutes ago from one of our employees that thanked us so much for making sure that payroll still went through during a time like this. So think about that. Your employees rely on this job so that they can eat, so that they can make it day to day, and how much more during a disaster like this. Are you ready as a commercial cleaning business owner to still pay your employees during an absolute disaster? So we've got some communication flowing. I'm taking the lead on this. You don't want to wait on your clients or your employees to reach out to you. You need to be the one to send out the messages, the plans, the links to the document, whatever you're going to do, you need to be the one that's going to reach out first during this. But there were many employees who at this point, after this first and second message we sent out, that we had not heard from at all. So what we did is we were able to get some supplies in from out of state. It's always good if you got some resources and some connections. And we took those to the addresses without internet service. So for our humanitarian and recon trip for our employees, we would GPS all the addresses from a central spot, and then we would go to them. We wrote down all the turns and all the directions, because once you left, you lost service. And GPS is only good if you can lock it in for one address, right? It's really hard to get it to stay and track if you're going to add more addresses to it. So we went to the first address, and we were able to find a lot of the employees throughout this journey and bring them gasoline, which was absolute gold. Gas was what people really wanted, because it wasn't just for cars to go get food and water, clean water. It was also for their generators so that their house would run, so their freezers wouldn't melt and they'd lose all their frozen food. It was a really, really big deal. So we were able to deliver gas to them, food, water, and help reach out and free them. A lot of them were trapped. There was so much mud, so much debris, and we were able to confirm the needs of them and help get them the help that they needed. And when I say we, it's me and my wife running around to all the employees' places across Western North Carolina, finding out what they need. And you wouldn't believe the smiles that we saw on their faces whenever they did see us. You know, normally you wonder how your employees feel about you. You wonder if they dread seeing the boss. Well, not in this moment. This is the moment for you as a leader to go first to serve first, to figure out how to help your team. And it really lifted their souls and their morale. And a lot of them are back to work now. They were so thankful for their job so that they can get paid. A lot of them said, we were going to starve because they live paycheck to paycheck. They're saying, we can't buy food if we cannot keep working. So you've got to help your team through this time. Now, here's something that I wish I had set up ahead of time that we did set up later during this process, and that is a rendezvous point. The office is a good rendezvous point if you can get to it. There was tremendous damage in Asheville, which is where our office is, and a tremendous amount of looting and absolute anarchy going on throughout the entire city. So what I wish I had done ahead of time was establish 2 more sub-rendezvous points. So it would work like this. Hey, if communication is ever cut off from the team, then you can meet us at 4 o'clock at the office. If for some reason we're not at the office, we'll be at the Goodwill parking lot. And if for some reason we're not at the Goodwill parking lot, then we're going to be at this facility. And between those 3 options, if you prioritize them, then you should have a really, really good chance of getting to meet up with your team members. But that's what we did after the fact. So as we were going around, we told everyone, we're going to set a rendezvous point. It's going to be at this place, at this time, every single day, because a lot of us, until really yesterday, could not even talk on the phone. We couldn't even text. We couldn't communicate at all. So we needed a place to at least meet and sync up. Even though we had that sheet out there, that Google Doc, a lot of people still could not use it. So from our rendezvous point, for us, it was the Goodwill parking lot at 4 o'clock every single day. We would discuss who needs to go where, who has any needs. I would come with a bunch of supplies, and we would plan out that evening and then the next few days. So things started to get better and better. As of just a couple days ago, we still have not quite heard from all of the clients. We have heard from all the employees, which is absolutely fantastic. But I continued to send even more information out via our CRM system every time I had Wi-Fi. And this communication is so important because a lot of these communications, especially to clients, are about we're here to support you, to help you, whatever you're aware of, we're here to support you through that problem. And let us know when your facility is ready and needing cleaning. So a lot of clients didn't get in touch with us at first. Obviously, there was a lot of questions. But then they would thank me saying, we've been getting your emails, we've been getting your texts. It's great to know that you're on top of this and taking care of us. And they have so many things on their mind, right? They're not just sitting around waiting on a text from the cleaning service, right? They've got their family they're taking care of. They got their office and their employees they're taking care of. And there's so many things that they can forget about. And if you're letting them know you're there to help prepare their building for their reopening, so that's what we did. We offered to start cleaning their building early, also so we don't lose any revenue, right? As little as possible, at least. It's really, really, really helpful to them that you are the one that truly owns the cleaning in their facility and truly cares about that. Obviously, to helping them with any other needs that they make you aware of. Not only these messages to clients, but I also send out a message just about every other day to the employees, letting them know of any plans and changes. And the most recent one that I sent out was actually giving them the links for the humanitarian aid and for the FEMA links and all the stuff that comes whenever an area is declared a disaster zone. So at the time of filming this right now, I still have a lot of employees who are either out of town or they're still here but looking for more work because they need the income. So that's what we're using, the prep your facility cleaning, you prep your facility to open back up type of cleanings to help provide that as well. But there's also some ways to help out. We have a quote that we just put out for a place that has refugees living there. They need a cleaning service there the entire time. So a tip for you would be, if something like this does happen, update your website. It's not taking advantage of the situation, but people need help. They need to know that they can call somebody that can help take care of their space. If they suddenly have 200 people that are living there, they need it taken care of and making sure it's clean. So if you are able to have a preset disaster page on your website, that'll help you at least be found for offering those opportunities to the people that need it. The other things that helped out tremendously, again, was the CRM and having everyone's data in one place so it was easy to send out blast texts, blast communications, and the text and email back and forth from there. It was absolutely wonderful. But there are some things that I wish I had done differently. And I know I'd already talked about the rendezvous, setting the primary, right? Whether it's an office space or your house, whatever it is, set a rendezvous point, but have 2 other backups. Because in this scenario, there was so much flooding and so much damage, so much gruesome stuff in the city of Asheville and danger and looting that we needed to have backup options because some of those would not have worked. Something else that I wish I'd done differently is at least prepped for the gasoline shortage. That was a major deal and really got us stuck there for a while until we had some family that came and helped us out. So especially at the office too, if there was a way to keep some extra fuel around, I would highly, highly encourage it. Obviously, how much or how little and what kind depends on your scenario, whichever part of the world that you're in, and what kind of natural disasters your area can experience. I'm also going to keep a few sets of backup batteries. That way, whenever we needed power and we didn't have it, it'd be great to have that so we could finish our communications whenever we did have those resources, the communication side, because our phones were dying, our computers were dying, even if we were able to access just a little moment of service or Wi-Fi, it was really, really difficult. And personally, I'm also going to be looking into Starlink. That way I can have internet no matter where I'm at. They have different plans. You got ones where you have a fixed address and ones where you can actually roam with it and go around without it being fixed. That's probably what I'm looking at, a lower cost version of that, so that we can at least have some sort of communication and I can at least send out messages to whoever needs them. Now, again, you can get however many of those that you want. We're also wanting to have something extra in the communication realm, whether that be a satellite radio solution or just really powerful radios themselves. That way, we can, at least on the leadership side, whether it's with myself and the supervisors or the managers, have some form of communication if the cell service ever cuts out. I know satellite radios can get very intense as far as their pricing goes. So you can get ones that have prepaid minutes. So it's up to you, once again, to decide what fits your scenario. But I would have at least something and some plan for communication with a rendezvous point and a radio system or satellite phones that'll help you communicate if there is a complete and utter blackout. Now, something I actually forgot to mention earlier in the video is we actually had a bunch of food at our office, and that worked out really well. And thank God, one of the guys in our office went out and bought a whole bunch of beef jerky, not knowing this was going to happen. But he went out and bought a whole lot of stuff from Sam's Club. He went out and just bought a bunch of food and had it at the office. And so whenever the flood happened and we heard on the radio that looting was going on, me and my wife ran to the office regardless of the danger, and we got all that food out of there. We took the key, we just made sure it was locked and no one could see anything through the windows, all that kind of stuff. And then we just distributed the food to the employees and the water to the employees as needed. So I'm still fresh in this thing. It is still going on right now. I'm still working on ironing out all the wrinkles and a plan for this in the future. But for you, I wanted to get this out to you because you don't know when something like this is going to happen. You don't know when absolute natural disaster is going to hit and shut down all of the infrastructure, the water, the internet. The internet went down, by the way, because the cords run through the ground. We had so many landslides that it snapped the internet cords. All that fiber optic cable is gone in a lot of areas. So internet's going to take a long time to come back. The water is going to take, at least from the filming of this video, it's still in the works. It's going to take over a month, most likely, before the water is drinkable again in Asheville. So as the business owner, as the one who's taking care of your clients and your employees, it's your job to have at least processed the risk of something like this happening to you and to your business and to your employees and to your clients, and have an idea of how you can implement and fix and communicate a solution for them, have some sort of answer whenever it does happen. And it is worth mentioning, if you are personally prepared, I was not as prepared as I should have been, but if you are personally prepared, then you are better able to help those who are in need. I did end up handing out some cash to some employees because they absolutely needed it and credit cards did not work. So just be ready, have some sort of backstop in place, and have thought this through for your clients and for your employees. Now, if you want to have a bunch of clients to worry about during a time like this, that's okay. Go watch this video on how you can grow your commercial cleaning business faster and faster without cold calling and take your commercial cleaning company to the next level. Again, I'm Matt, your 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO. Thanks for watching. The disaster is still going on right now and we're still helping. So if you see this, as soon as I release it, your prayers are appreciated, and any help that can be sent this way is very welcomed. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, keep building.